It's been the story. Hedge fund short sellers betting on the demise of GameStop and doing what they always do when they smell blood in the water, leveraging their immense hedge fund fortunes in order to hasten the inevitable demise of another great American company. They actually borrowed more than the number of outstanding shares that existed for GameStop. And they were outed by a semi-anonymous social news subredditors community named WallStreetBets, who discovered that certain hedge funds had done this perfectly legal, albeit risky thing, and the WallStreetBets community discovered they could leverage this situation with information that was readily available if you knew where to look and you were part of the right community. You can find details of this everywhere in the news today, and some, not this person, but some jumped on the bandwagon in order to join the party of the new wave of the Occupy Wall Street crowd with Robinhood apps on their iPhones. So what does this mean for you? What has changed? Because GameStop has changed the world for all of us. Did I miss the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity of taking my $600 stimulus check and turning it into instant millions? Here's my hot take on how you can use this. Make money instead of losing money, and what we need to change or be left behind as the money world jumps ahead at warp speed and we're chasing with the worst kind of FOMO known to humanity. Hi, my name is James Callahan, and I am not an investment advisor, and this is not investment advice. This is for educational purposes only. And if someone tells you to buy this stock or that crypto, that's the first sign that you shouldn't listen to a word they're saying.
This is it. I'm going over the top right here. I'm buying the market right here, right now, because I know more than anybody.
It's called talking their book, and it's what every hedge fund, every big investor does as they appear on CNBC and they pump their own stock. They already own the stock or security. They already own the crypto, and they go on TV and they tell you what a wonderful thing it is to buy and what a great future or what a horrible end it will experience. And they leave you to decide for yourself, and we are sucked in with this transparency. Everyone from Kathy Wood at ARK Investment, who predicted Tesla would go to $8,000 a share. You see, when a bunch of nobodies on a subreddit board started to share information that's readily available and started to share the idea that they could maybe poke a finger in the eye of old Wall Street and upset things, that's when things just went too far. They started to buy call options on GameStop. And it started to drive the price up because the more options you bought, the more shares had to be secured to back the options. And they were forcing the hand of hedge funds that had borrowed shares to short GameStop. And that was just too much for Wall Street and financial regulators and for the clearinghouses and for the fintech companies that give us access to the markets these days, like Robinhood. And they decided to
slow it down.
Or stop it altogether. What's going to happen because of this? I don't know. But I do know this, that it's going to be the retail investors. It's going to be people like you and me who are on the outs with the large money of hedge funds who don't have access to that information, their secret information, their specialized analyst takes on these companies, and their access to the resources and time, because their billions of dollars buy them time where they can get out of their positions, they can get out of trouble in ways that we can never handle. And I wasn't going to make this video because everyone's making this video. There's so much good information about what happened over the past couple of weeks, but then a friend sent me this text. He said, I was wondering what to use for stocks. I want to get in on the fun before the joke dies. And then the friend of a friend texted me and said, you don't know me, but I think you can help me. I want to get in on this frenzy in the market just because. Is it too late? And how fast can I get started? So this hot take is for my friend and the friend of a friend, because it's easy to get hurt, lose our money in the crashing waves that are everywhere in the markets today. I mean, why not? The best time to learn the surf is when the waves are cresting at 20 or 30 feet and crashing against the rocks, right? And hey, before we go deeper, would you do me a favor and tap the like button, please, so YouTube knows what you like and care about? It really helps. Old Wall Street is mad and crying foul that ordinary investors and traders like us actually started to influence their safe and orderly markets. They only like buy and hold investors who give them their money so that they can get paid for babysitting it, and they really like it with our failed attempts at day trading when we move in and out of stocks and options and try to time the market, and we end up paying them for the privilege of losing all of our money. The house always wins, and they are the house. They say the price of GameStop is detached from fundamentals, from any real value. These are the same people that hate Bitcoin and want us to put our money in stable assets like physical gold or silver, or an investment with something underlying it, a tradition, a history, blue chip dividend stocks, real estate, slow and safe money. They like that. And this is the kind of money that historically is rewarded by Wall Street, and therefore they say it's the only safe way to put your money to work. And there's some wisdom to that. Why fight the trend? Why fight the flow? If that's where the money is, then it would be stupid to snub our nose at the way money is offered to us every day. But here's where there's a plot twist or two. Wall Street created a financial tool called options, a contract that allows us to buy a company's stock either higher, a call, if we think it will go up in price, or lower, a put, if we think it will go down in price. So if you own, say, 100 shares of International Business Machines, aka IBM, you might buy an inexpensive put to guard against IBM tumbling down in price unexpectedly. It's a kind of insurance. Because it was always pretty stable, the cost of that hedge was literally pennies on the dollar. And if it expires worthless, as most options do, it was insurance for them and nothing more. Today, a single options contract is worth 100 shares of a stock. And we pay for the privilege of making the calculated risk, but we're not obligated to purchase the stock, the underlying stock. And the cost of each options contract is a fraction of the price we pay for 100 shares of that underlying stock. Buying or selling call or put options in Wall Street is a way to hedge massive portfolios of billions and billions of dollars of stocks that they actually own. But then more and more retailers like us were enticed by the fractional price of options, and we started using options to make a quick profit without ever intending to buy the 100 shares of the stock underlying each option, but just following the trend in the stock, either up with a call or down with a put, and making our money that way as the option increased in value. Most options contracts expire worthless. No matter how much they cost a week ago or a year ago, they all end up pretty much expiring worthless. Also, in my 20 years of trading options, I have never, ever held a contract to expiration unless I profited by selling it and expecting it to go to zero. That is, unless I was a short seller of an option. And I have never exercised an option on the underlying stock. Never. Not once. In the hundreds and hundreds of times I have bought and sold options. And now Robinhood, among other new fintech companies, makes buying options free. Instead of paying $10 per options transaction like we used to, traders can now buy and sell options contracts for free, making pennies and dollars much more easily. And nobodies like you and me can buy an option on 100 shares of Facebook or Microsoft, Tesla or GameStop, and literally flip it in hours, days, or weeks, and make 10, 100, or 1,000% on a $10 risk. Of course, we can also lose all of the $10 of that $10 risk. To the slow money of Wall Street, to the big money of Wall Street hedge funds, this is gambling for you and me, and they must protect us. They must look out for the little guy's best interests. So after the dust settles on this whole WallStreetBets, Reddit, Robinhood, GameStop fiasco they've called this week, they'll call for new regulations. Not just maybe on hedge funds leveraging millions into billions and overborrowing shares to offset each options contract, but most likely these regulations will hit retailers like us, and limit or throttle our access to the markets. How do I know? Because that's exactly what fintech companies and brokerages and clearinghouses did this week. As soon as things got too crazy, moved too fast, and cost them too much money because of what we were doing, they slowed us down or they cut us off. So I predict they'll govern our access like they slow down golf carts with a governor so that it will never go too fast that it becomes dangerous for people like you and me, and takes all the fun out of driving golf carts. So they're just protecting us from ourselves because we don't know enough. We don't know the danger of playing with fire and what it really means. And this is just another wake-up call, because every financial product we have access to, from 401ks and our retirement IRAs to CDs and annuities and retail investing in stocks and options, every single financial product is regulated, heavily regulated, for our benefit. And in return, it's insured up to a point. FDIC or SIPC, Security Investors Protection Corporation. Doesn't that sound parental? But for only some of our money on deposit with the fintechs like Robinhood, and they don't insure our trades, our FOMO, our mistakes, or our stupidity. That's on us. So Robinhood, the #1 downloaded app in the App Store this month, is our portal to this world. No fee trades, and that lowers the psychological and monetary barriers to enter a market, and to think that when we enter it, we are entering on a level playing field. Because if we have to pay a fee to enter or exit every trade, we begin or end every single trade at a loss, or paying for the privilege of risking our hard-earned money in their precious and stable markets. In return for these free trades, Robinhood is really just an in-between, a fintech company, where we aren't really the customer paying Robinhood. We're just users, and Robinhood sells our transactions to other parties and clearinghouses, and this where the story gets dark, and conspiracy theories and tinfoil and the truth might be hiding. Vlad, the Robinhood CEO, promised it was because of depository regulations and capital requirements. That is, they or their clearinghouse for the trades executed on the Robinhood platform became so dangerously risky, so large because of the volume, they had to stop your access to buying. But hedge funds and those who bet against GameStop and got caught holding the bag still had access to the market somehow. Of course, the price of these stocks dropped with every announcement and gave those already at risk time to hedge their positions. With no upside buying possible, the only pressure was to the downside. And the supposedly unintentional consequences of limiting retail access benefited the pros and punished amateurs like you. And you should learn a lesson from that not only does the house always win, but they also have the money to wait out rough patches that blow up our account. And by blow up the account, that's what people in the markets call going broke. A real hot take is if you're wondering if it's too late to get in on the fun or chaos, the answer is yes, you're too late. As my friend asked, if I want to get in on this frenzy in the marketplace just because, is it too late? And how fast can I get started? The answer is by the time we're able to ask questions like that, it's already too late. Robinhood has not only limited access to buying certain stocks, but slowing or eliminating access to instant deposits on most accounts. But it's what's next that's really important for you and me. There's a saying among smart money that it's better to be late than to be wrong. Right now, chasing after the GameStop frenzy is FOMO on steroids, and the money has already been made. But watching how this multi-billion-dollar game of chicken plays out, that's where the real show is. That's what we need to pay attention to. You see, if I jump in now, I'll just become another casualty of a battle that some have already won and others have already lost. We just don't know who yet. But I'm not telling you that you should buy or sell anything. And I'm not telling you not to buy or sell anything. I'm going to do 3 things this week. The 3 things that I plan on doing at the beginning of just about every month. I'll tell you what they are, but I'm not recommending any single stock or crypto. First, the first of the month is coming up, and that will mean my monthly contribution to my Roth IRA of about $583, about $583.33 actually, and that's 1/12 of my annual contribution limit for the Roth IRA. I will buy more of all of the 11 stocks that I hold in that account, more of the same, and I will dollar cost average, like I do every month. Second, I will continue to take profits in my trading account on names like DraftKings, Airbnb, and penny stocks that I wrote up in the past few weeks of frenzy. I was late to that party, but I'm only wrong if I don't take the profits that I have. So I want to be right on some more this week, so I'm going to be taking some profits. And third, market volatility will probably remain high this week, making all options contracts even more expensive, and add to what they are in the midst of earnings season. We're in the midst of earnings season. So playing any of the sudden volatile moves this week will be even more expensive. It's like the price of a Division III college football game versus a ticket to the Super Bowl. Yeah, it's that kind of difference. So whatever you do this week, just know you'll be paying up for the privilege of playing the GameStop short squeeze hype. And the more it's in the news or is the headline of the week, the more we'll have to pay to play. I'm going to have fun watching this game of chicken unfold, rooting for all of us little guys and expecting financial regulators and fintech and Washington, D.C. to punish those who put a finger in the eye of Wall Street. And I'm going to watch and learn and make more money that way than chasing after the feeding frenzy. And thanks so much for being part of the Do-Over Show, and please tap the like button. It really helps. And consider subscribing so you don't miss any of these hot takes when it all hits the fan. I'm so glad you found me, and I found you. Thanks.